And welcome to Round Robin. I'm your host, Robin McCormick with the City of Hampton. And today we are going to look at some beautiful sweet treats and talk to a famous baker who was on the Food Network and who operates a bakery in Phoebus, Lashonda Sanford. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I'm so excited.
It was so fun to watch you on the Food Network, and I don't usually do that, but I'm like, local person, Hampton business, I'm there. And it was a blast watching it. Was it a blast doing it?
Absolutely not.
And I should add, this was the Great Holiday Baking Challenge. I forget exactly what it's called.
The Holiday Baking Championship, Season 7. But no, it was fun. It was fun, but it was very hectic and stressful, but it was fun.
Because you can never tell from reality shows, like, is this hyped or are they really like this tight on time and this, kind of frantic sometimes?
No, that was probably one of the things that I was most surprised about. I was under the impression that you cannot successfully bake all these things in the time that you have. And I was thinking, okay, they're going to give us some extra time somewhere. No, it is what you see is what you get. When they give you 2 hours to execute something, that's all you got. So a lot of the times you saw me trying to cool things off in the blast chiller.
I'm like, blast chiller, I need one of those.
Yeah.
That sounds fun.
And the blast chiller, I had high hopes for that. I was wanting it to really blast chill my desserts, but at the end of the day, it was just a freezer. But it was very challenging and very hard. That's why I think the first show, I didn't do my best. But after that, I kind of got myself together, and I was like, look, you only got so much time. You got to get it done. And so you have to figure out, like, proportion, do I make a whole cheesecake or do I make a mini cheesecake? Because I only have so much time for things to cool. So, you have to think about every single thing that you're doing.
And you think about that a lot as a baker, but not in that kind of compressed time frame.
Yeah, it's because you have to conceptually think about what you're going to make first. And that alone will take me sometimes a long time to figure out what I'm going to make. But, sometimes you don't know the ingredients that you're going to be pulling from. I think one time I got fig. I don't really make fig. I don't use things with fig. I think I had said to them, I make a pineapple upside down, not a fig upside down. So,
but it worked.
It worked because if you have the skills to make one thing, you can transform it to anything else. I feel like so. But you're making things with ingredients that you don't normally use, and you're thinking of ideas that you have to think of very quickly, and then you have to execute it very quickly, and then decorate. And of course, I do not like to decorate.
Well, honestly, as I watched, it's like you won the best tasting almost every time.
Yeah.
It was that, sort of fanciness because you're
Yeah, I'm a home baker. I consider myself a home baker.
Do you?
I do. I guess because I have not been classically trained, and so I just I would say to Duff all the time, Duff, do you want it to taste good or look good? Because I can't do both in 2 hours. I can decorate. I have decorated. Of course, I've had a business for years, and so I have decorated many cakes. But it's not my specialty, and I don't love it. I love to get in the kitchen and bake things with my hands and make them taste delicious. And I think I stayed true to that for sure.
You did. I could tell. Like, I wanted to taste everything. And you lasted a really long time. You were one of the final
5. I was top 5. And, I did not know what to expect. It was an 8-week show, and I was there for 7 weeks. So I didn't know how well I was going to do. I assumed it was
shot in much less time than that.
No.
You were gone for 7 weeks.
I was in California for 7 weeks, yeah.
How is that when you're running a business?
Well, I run a business, but I have about 25 employees, and thank God for those employees that kind of held us all together. And not to mention my husband, because he's my business partner. He's, and so he was there the whole time, and he told the employees, do not call my wife, okay? She can't focus on 2 things, she can't focus here and then focus on the show. So we got to do one. call me if there's a problem. So honestly, they didn't call me for any problems. They stayed steady. My daughter, I have a 17-year-old. She cooked the meals at home and took care of, took care of the guys. And I have an older daughter, August, and she, helped out. So everybody kind of helped out, pitched in. But I was gone for a long time.
Yeah, you were. Oh, that's so exciting. So would you do it again if you were, if it was another show or another kind of thing like that? Or you're like, I've done my time?
Well, I often look back when I watched the last season of the Holiday Baking Championship show. I said, oh my God, would I do that again? That was a lot of work. But I think I would do it again. I would definitely do it again because I gained a lot of experience and I surprised myself. I just did things that I didn't know that I could do. And so I was proud of it. I was proud of things that I'd done, and I think that I would try it again.
It looked like you always had some knowledge to bring into it. It just maybe wasn't the whole thing you've ever cooked before, but you knew this part and this part, and just figured that the rest of it would work.
Well, often I would say, I've never made this before. I'm just making it up, But I think so. In our store, you can come into our store and honestly, you never know what I'm going to bake that day. The other day I made, I think, Pop-Tarts, or I made a honey bun cake, or I make things all the time that's not on the menu. If I wake up that morning and I want if I want to eat eclair, I'll, make a pot of choux and I'll make some eclairs. It just depends on what I feel like that day. And so I think because of that, that helped me in the show, because I can make kind of anything. I tell people I can make anything. You just tell me what you want and I'll make it for you. So it's not that I specialize in one thing over the other. I like to be, versed. I'll make a donut or, whatever it is. I just like to make good things. So I'll try anything.
All right, so you brought some samples with us, and these are beautiful, by the way. Look at those cupcakes. Why don't let's pull that out where people can see it, and you can tell me about each one of these. I'm going to take the lid off and hold it so the camera can get it.
Okay.
Gosh, they just look amazing.
Okay.
Oh, look at that. Smell that. All right.
I know, smell-o-vision is real.
Yeah.
So I just bought a couple of our favorites right now for the summer. So, of course, this is our classic wedding. That's the #1 seller in our store.
Is it really?
It really is. Out of everything we have, it's the French vanilla almond with the buttercream that's the most popular.
Okay, well, now you make it sound better.
It's a plain Jane here. But the Strawberry Cheesecake Crunch has been a close runner-up. It has taken over by storm. It's a strawberry cake with a cream cheese frosting with a golden Oreo crumble. Like the old school crunch cakes that you would eat, like the little eclair pops. Yeah, it's like that and super good. And then this is our dirty wedding, so it's a French vanilla with the milk chocolate for the bad boys and girls. And this is one of my favorites because I love s'mores. So this is a chocolate cake stuffed in the middle with like a s'more buttercream, and it has a s'more buttercream, graham cracker, and a marshmallow on top. This is going to be our triple strawberry. So it's a strawberry cake, strawberry buttercream, a fresh homemade strawberry sauce that we make with the fresh strawberry on top. Can't go wrong with that.
Beautiful.
And then we have Oreo, just, classic chocolate cake with Oreo buttercream.
Oh, that's beautiful. Those are so pretty. And see, you do decorate. Those are very fancy.
I do.
It's not quite the sculpture, but it is decorations. Now you expanded recently.
Yes.
It hasn't been that recently, I guess, anymore. But you went
too.
from, kind of a small takeout bakery into a place where you have food.
Yeah.
I mean, real meal type food.
Yes,
things
meal
that you
food.
can eat for a meal. How has that gone for you?
Well, I tell you, the transition from a bakery to a cafe has been, it's been a little challenging at first for my staff. My staff did not understand. I don't think they really anticipated as much as we were going to be doing and as busy as we were going to be. Across when we started on Mellon Street, we were across the street in a little small store, and we kind of just did our regular thing, our cupcakes and things like that. When we decided to move into the store across the street, it's a much larger store, and because it's a much larger building, we said, okay, well, we got to make more things than what we normally do, just for it to make sense. And so I love to make food as well. So I said, let's just make a cafe. Let's bring in some extra things and bring in some coffees and, make sure we have our ice cream and bring it all in and make it full circle. It's been a transition, and we are finally getting the swing of it all now. I think we opened June 1 of last year. So it's almost been, a year, and so far so good.
So show us that pretty coffee over there. I want to see you. You're going to add the cream to it, and it's going to look gorgeous.
Yes, so we have coffee there, and our coffee is delicious. We use a local brewer, and we get our beans from them. And this is our cold brew, and so, when you get your cold brew and you add your milk, it's so good. This is like one of our favorite things to drink here. And so that's the cold brew.
Oh, look how pretty. And I love cold brew.
Do you love cold brew?
I do. We make it at home in the summer. Like during the winter, I have to have my hot coffee, but cold brew is so much less bitter.
Yeah.
And it's just, it's a different taste. It doesn't taste like iced coffee.
No, it doesn't.
It is different.
No, yeah, it's definitely not iced coffee. It's a complete, it takes us about 18 hours, I think, to make our cold brew. So, it's a process for sure. And then this is our strawberry frappuccino. And so we make all kinds of different frappuccinos, and we'll make espressos and lattes. So this right here is something brand new to our store, getting into the coffees and, getting our beans and, really doing it right. And so we are excited about our new coffee addition to Scratch.
Awesome. So you also serve healthy things. So you can order, again, I don't know how well this is going to show but you can order a nice healthy salad, so you're saving your calories for the dessert.
Yeah, you can save it up a little bit. Save it up. So, just because we're doing simple things doesn't mean it can't be simple and delicious. So this salad is actually named after my granddaughter. This is the Ava Blue. My granddaughter's name is Ryan Ava Blue. So this is the Ava Blue salad. It's a blue cheese. So it's a strawberry balsamic vinaigrette that we make in-house with the spring mix, red onions, strawberries, blueberries, and blue cheese. And it has sliced almonds and cucumbers.
See that, yeah.
And it's really, people love this salad. It's really good. It's a little sweet and savory. It's really good. Named after my granddaughter.
That's wonderful. All right, you brought some. Well, first of all, what's hiding in there?
This is like everyone's favorite sandwich at the bakery. This is our Scratch Club. So our Scratch Club. Look at that. I don't know how we can show this, but...
Oh, hold it. Yeah. Hold it out like that. Oh, beautiful.
So it is...
It's got avocado in there.
It has avocado. It has bacon. It's on a really good Italian toast bread, and it's our sliced turkey that we sliced in-house. It's on and it has a avocado aioli on the bread, so it's really good. Good sandwich.
That looks amazing. So are your... savory foods as good as sellers as your desserts?
Well, you know what? They're definitely top runner-ups. I think people they're still surprised when they walk in and they're like, oh, you can get a sandwich today? Oh, you have salads and sandwiches, and, in the fall we have soup. And so I think people are still surprised. Not everyone knows that we have transitioned, to a cafe. But the local people that come in, every day they want their sandwiches,
Yeah, people who live or work there and come frequently.
The tuna salad, our chicken pot pies on Thursdays, those are regulars that people love. So honestly, our sandwiches and our salads have been a really good addition to our team, a super good addition. People are pleasantly surprised, and they always come back for it again, so that's good.
That is awesome. Okay, I'm going to save that one for last. This is, I'm going to guess, cheesecake parfait.
Yes, very good. Ooh. So this is our strawberry cheesecake crunch cup. And we just recently started doing this maybe a year ago, but we cannot stop making these things. People will boycott us if we stop these strawberry crunch cups.
I believe it.
It's super good. It's like a no-bake, fluffy cheesecake, a filling with a homemade strawberry sauce, fresh strawberries, and then it has a crumble and a graham cracker that we make in the bottom. So it's just a layered effect, and it's just really delicious. It's very cool and refreshing, especially for summer.
Wonderful. And then I'm going to guess that this is one of your specialties.
100%. The banana pudding is like everybody's favorite dessert. I had someone describe it as it tastes like sweet baby Jesus. I don't know what that means, but that's what they said. It tastes like sweet baby Jesus.
Well, growing up, I just thought banana pudding was boring. Pudding is boring. But when you have a really good one, it changes everything.
Yeah. I tell them it will change your life. It's not a standard banana pudding. I think what happens for me is that people, they come in and they assume, like you said, these are just kind of standard things. I've had it before and it's going to be okay. And it warms my heart when they taste it and they're like, what is this? I'm like, banana pudding, just done right.
Yeah.
We just really try to make it, make things and do it right. That's our motto, just do it right.
Well, you said you weren't classically trained. How did you learn to bake?
Well, I tell you what, the woman who raised me, she was a fantastic baker. Her name was Letha, and I would come home from school and I would have homemade biscuits on the stove every day. Like, this was a staple in our house. And I would make homemade fudge and bread, and she was known for her jam cakes. And people don't really know what those are here. Maybe they do, but...
Where did you grow up?
Kentucky.
Okay.
And bourbon cakes and bourbon balls, and we had grapevines in our backyard, and I would pick off the grapes and eat grapes, and we would make things with those grapes, and it was just a different way of living. It wasn't fast. Everything, we didn't go to McDonald's and get things fast. If we wanted, we made it with our hands. And so I think I started with that background of just, making things with my hands and loving that process of how it is to really get in the kitchen and cook. And so it started there. My love for desserts really started, when I grew up, just making things, homemade and making them fresh and making them all the time. So when I, got older, that's what I wanted to do. And I always had looked for great desserts when I moved somewhere or went somewhere on vacation. When I moved here from Kentucky, I was looking for, a good bakery, and I just honestly couldn't find what I was looking for. And, so I kind of just started there, just looking for it, couldn't find it. So then I just start making my own stuff. But, I researched it. Baking, I researched baking. I told my husband I wanted to go to culinary school. And he says, okay, well, I tell you what, start at the library first. And I'm like, what do you mean? He was like, go there and read books on baking and decorating, and then make things from that. And after you've done that and you've exhausted all of that, then tell me if you still want to go to school. Well, I didn't anymore. I felt like I taught myself, and I felt more confident in what I was doing. So I just kind of taught myself.
How did you start? Your first store was in Newport News, right? How did you launch that? Like, that is a big, scary thing. It takes some financial investment. It takes a huge leap of faith. Like, how did you get there?
Well, I tell people failure to launch is what's always going to hold you back. I talk to so many people that say, I want to do this. Well, just do it. It might be scary. It might not succeed, but you're not going to know until you do it. And I think for me, I started in my home. I started baking. I started getting customers. I started doing wedding cakes. I converted, our garage to another kitchen. And so we kind of started there.
Oh, yeah. So you were growing incrementally.
I was growing organically. I did not just go and just boom, I opened a store. I had already started that process. And then, so what happened with us is that we had a large contract, I think, with the government that we couldn't fulfill because we were a home-based business. And because of that, my husband says, okay, basically it's getting serious now, is this going to be a career or is it going to be a hobby? And what are you going to do? And I think I, at that point, said it's going to be my career, and we're going to open up a storefront. And so it was only a couple months after that conversation that we opened our first store in Port Warwick. And it was, on purpose, we opened in Port Warwick. I wanted to be in a place where it was a neighborhood feel and a community was around us. And I feel like
And
that's,
where it's not all chains, it's
yeah,
just a little more individualized there.
I didn't want to be like in a strip mall or chains. I wanted to be in a community where we are. And so where the customers come in and we know them by name, we know what they like. And that's what I was really looking for, because that's what I grew up with in Kentucky. So.
And then how did you expand to Phoebus? How did that happen?
Well, we expanded to Williamsburg, actually.
Oh, I missed that one.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So we expanded to Williamsburg maybe about 3 years after we had opened in Port Warwick. We were doing very well. We opened in Williamsburg, and it was doing great. But I had a good friend of mine named Lakeisha Renfro that owns a little store called Mango Mango.
Right.
In
Store,
Phoenix.
restaurant, spa,
Everything,
catering. Yes.
everything you can
Yes.
imagine. And she's been a friend of mine for years. And she says, I think you should come to this place called Phoebus. And I said, well, I'm already in Williamsburg. I don't know how that's going to work, And we had an opportunity to basically end our lease in Williamsburg. And so once we did that, we said we'll give Phoebus a try. And so we opened up in Phoebus, and it was the best decision we ever made, honestly.
Well,
The
why is
best.
that?
Because Phoebus really reminds me of home. It is that same small community feel that we were looking for. And honestly, when we opened up, the people, they greeted us with open arms. I mean, they were like, we love you guys. And they just, the community in Phoebus is so supportive. So much so that even during the pandemic, we didn't have any days that we closed. We were still open. The people said they still want their treats, and they, we try to be consistent with them, but we just like the feel of Phoebus. We love the atmosphere of just being in Hampton, and it's just family.
That's great. It's always good to hear those stories, because that's how I think of Hampton and some of the different neighborhoods, Phoebus and downtown. But it's nice to hear it from the outside.
It really is true. It really is true.
Okay, last question. What is your personal favorite dessert that you make?
Oh my God, that's like asking me which one's my favorite child.
Okay, I'll ask you that next.
I tell people it depends on the day, because people ask me that all the time, and I tell them, well, today my favorite's chocolate. It just
Right, what
depends
you're
on
in
the
the
day,
mood
what I'm in the
for.
mood for. But always, so on Thursdays when we're scooping out the peach cobbler, I'm always going to give me a little bit of that.
Yep.
For sure. That's always one of my favorites. And for cake, that carrot cake, you can never go wrong with it. It's just...
You feel healthy eating it because it's a vegetable.
Oh, okay. Okay. You say so. But the carrot cake is always one of my favorites, and the wedding cake, you can never go wrong.
See, who would choose an avocado toast when you have something like, ooey gooey cake or honey bun or something like that? It's so hard. I love avocado toast, but
It's true.
When you're
But
looking
no,
at
you
those
just-
things side
you just
by
get a little bit
side.
of each. You know what? Honestly, I have an amazing baker in our Hampton store. Her name is Elizabeth, and she makes the best scones ever.
Oh.
So when I go into Hampton, the first thing I'm always going to grab is a scone. She knows it. Sometimes she has it waiting for me.
That's great.
So you can get avocado toast, and you can get a scone, and you can have both.
Yeah.
So I think
And
that's
scones
great.
aren't that sweet. I mean, really, it's
Yeah, honestly,
yeah.
it's not horrible. But of course, the gooey bar is never gonna fail you.
I believe you described that as crack to me one time when I bought it.
I tell people, look, enter at your own risk, because if you eat the gooey bar, it's just like crack. You're gonna want it all
come
the
back.
time.
Yep.
But I want people to know that we do have a private patio in Hampton. That it seats like 25 people. And so, we have more, seating there. We do have a private party room there too. So people come in, they come in and rent that out for like bridal showers.
I was going to say, what a great
and
place for a shower.
It's perfect. It's a good atmosphere, it's kind of small and quaint, but and we cater for that, we cater for our own events, and so it's great. So that's a whole nother world that we just didn't, have before. The more space and private rooms and more food, and it's just a whole new world at Scratch.
All right. Well, thank you so much. This has been exciting. Now
Well,
I want
thank
to
you.
eat.
Well,
Good to
thank
talk to you.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
And thank you for watching. If you are as hungry as I are, you will rush out right now to Scratch and get some of these wonderful things because you just need it, I think. Thanks for watching.